Still sitting out here by the gazebo. It's a Sunday. It's beautiful weather. Life is good sometimes, right? Anyhow, so I was asked the other day, yesterday actually, how do I find a stock or how do I find a security? We've talked about in the past, what's a stock, what's an ETF, what's a mutual fund, all that stuff. We kind of poked around looking at charts. So the reason I put the last two videos up because in preparation for this, I was trying to look at screening stocks and I couldn't get to it. So I'm logged in with Safari right now onto my Schwab account. You don't have to have Schwab. You can use whatever platform you want, but they probably have something quite similar. Look for where you can search and screen investments. So if you're interested in buying a single stock, this is what I'm looking under the stocks. And there are all these different things here that you can screen under. Okay, and if you're saying, well, I don't know what all this stuff is, well, they've got the basics right there by the headers, the categories. And these are different things that you can screen based on those categories. So if you were going to do dividend investment, you'd probably focus on there. Myself, I'm looking at price performance. And there's different indicators here that you could be looking at. The one that I'm focusing on right now, because I'm trying to focus on investments that have been beat up or have gone down in value since the virus thing. So I'm looking at the percentage below the 52-week high. So when I click on that and I scroll back up, they have, again, this is Schwab. I don't know what you have in your tool, but look and see that they have some things already automatically set up for you, or you can enter in your own criteria. So let's say, for example, you want it beat up a little bit, but not ones that are bottom feeding, meaning ones that are just like wiped out. So let's look at 60 to 80% below the 52-week high. And this tells me there's 2,058 results. I can view those results, which is what I'm doing here. And here's all kinds of things. Now you can, right now it's sorted alphabetically by the symbol, I believe. If I want to go by the high or the low, okay, I can do that. I click on it again. So you can see where it's almost at 80% from the 52-week high. I click on it again, it's sorting from the lowest of that 60 to 80. So you can see there's screens and screens, 5+ screens of there's over 2,000 stocks. Personally, I like the ETFs better because you're spreading your risk out. The ETF is buying more than one stock, so you're spreading your risk over several securities. So it's kind of like the plus of a mutual fund with the plus of a stock. But anyhow, some people just want to invest in a particular stock. Okay, here you go. So if I hover over the symbol, and what I have this thing set up where I'm looking at the 1-year chart, gives me a preview. Now when I look at like this chart right here, to me I don't see that as a great deal. Meaning it's trading. Oops, sorry, I lost my focus there. It's trading at 0.0014 cents per share. Now, granted, you can buy a lot of shares, but the high is 0.0035. Is there room to make some money? Yeah, but if you look at this curve, go back. Sorry, if you look at the curve, this chart, you don't see a sudden drop. To me, that tells me you're not going to really make any money with that. Let's look at this one. Yeah, kind of almost the same thing. This one goes down some. Now, if you look over here where it shows the L, that's the low. The low is 11 cents a share on this one. And the 52-week high was 48.5 cents per share. So there's opportunity there. And you can see, now if you were to go into a bigger view of the chart, you'd probably see a more pronounced drop from the virus. But if you look at it, it looks like it pretty much did drop But here's the thing. You got to look at that chart. To me, the average is about 25 cents a share, not the 52-week high. The 52-week high may have been an anomaly. Okay, so for me, if I were doing an analysis with this and running the numbers, I would probably use the 25 cent per share because that looks like it's pretty safe. And you could buy it at 11 cents. Well, that's not bad money. In other words, you could it's a little more than doubling itself if it goes back to 25 cents a share. And again, that's not bad. It just might be one you might want to consider, maybe not. I can't tell you, I cannot legally tell you what to invest in. You have to understand that. I'm not a licensed security person. I'm just telling you what I do. I'm showing you what I do. Whether if you want to follow it or not, that's your choice. No different than if you read a book and they tell you strategies, okay? So what I'm looking for, and I'm trying to find a good example of it. Okay, now this is what we got going on here. Now, keep in mind, the low is not what it's trading at. Right now, this one, for example, at one point it was down to $6.64 a share. The 52-week high was 55, and it looks like a good average is about maybe 27. It's trading at $11.24. Again, you have an opportunity to probably double your money. Personally, I'm looking for something with a little more odds of like doubling or tripling, quadrupling my money. See, now this one's pretty good. When I look back though, when I'm looking at this, it started dropping early, like around December. So for whatever reason, this one was picking up possibly on the coronavirus thing sooner than others. Right now it's trading at $9 a share, and it looks like prior to the world falling apart, it was trading at around, I would say, averaging about 38. Now that's some good opportunity right there. Now, you notice I'm not talking about what these people do, what they're invested in. I don't care. What I'm looking at is I'm looking at the technical analysis, which means I'm looking at the trend. To me, the trend is your friend. If you look at it, if it's just like people are predictable, things are predictable. Well, so's the market in many ways. Is it a guarantee? No, just like it's not a guarantee that that people are predictable, but there's a real good chance. Okay, the odds are more in your favor. So when I look at this, to me, all right, you could pick this one up for $9. I'm just rounding the numbers off. Say $9 a share, and it looks like you'd possibly go up to 38 per share. So if I'm looking to invest a certain amount of money, let's say I want to invest $500. So I get out my calculator, which means to me I grab my phone. I take $500 and I divide it by how much the stock is trading for right now. So I'm going to put $9. I'll just put 9 just to round it off. So it shows me that basically I could afford 55 shares. 55 shares. So the next thing I do is I look at what the average before it dropped. What's the average price? So $38 a share, minus the $9 per share it cost to buy. So there's a probability that it will go up $29 per share. So if I take 29 times 55, so what this shows me is a profit of $1,595. So there's a possibility that I could invest $500 and I could turn that $500 into $1,595, or $1,595. Round it off. I could take $500 and turn it into $1,500. I can, basically triple, the value of that money. That's pretty good opportunity. Now, if you want, one of the things you can consider then doing is then you take this code right here, so ESWW. I'm opening up my other browser because that's where I've got links set up. So then I would go to my Seeking Alpha chart because this is where I'm monitoring things. I've got a holding and I've got a watch list. So watch list. I'm going to go there and I'm going to add a symbol because I want to add it onto this chart. So ESWW. It says that's the one. Yep. I click. I'm done. And ta-da! It's now there. So what's nice is when I look at it Monday, when I go to look at this, I can see how that one is trading. In other words, I can look at the chart and follow it. I can also go over here if I want to look at a more detailed version of the chart. So there you go. I can look at the 6-month chart, which is probably a little more what I'm interested in. Like I said, around December, this one started dropping, and it's been kind of floundering along here at what, $5, $6, $7 a share. But if you want to see what the trend is, look at the year. All right, well, the year looks pretty good. Look at the 5-year, and you're like, well, it's up and down, up and down. It's all over the place. But there's I call that the noise factor. From about here down, you can see where it averages. So as you run your mouse along here, see how it changes the price? So I can go right to there. I can see, well, okay, that one traded at 27. Well, that's kind of a little bit of a dip. So anyhow, long story short, I think you can figure out what an average is throughout this trend, and you could use that. Now, is it a guarantee? No, it's not a guarantee. I don't have a crystal ball. But if I'm looking at the trend and trying to use that trend as my reasoning for buying this one compared to others that just kind of stayed along the same and just bounced up and down, up and down, up and down, to me, I look at this and this tells me I have a good chance of making some money. So that's one aspect. I'm going to come back and do another one on an ETF just to show you the same type of result or same type of analysis. So be back soon.